the managing partner of Wendroff CPA, and thank you so much for attending the presentation today on what it's like to work with a local CPA firm. We're honored to have you here, and hopefully you'll get something out of this. Let's talk about you. Accountants. Accountants are in demand. Based on the AICPA, some information from the AICPA, around 60% of accountants or students who have not graduated college yet have been offered a job before graduation. So about 60% of accounting students have been offered a job before graduation. This is a really good feeling. I mean, other than, of course, getting a great college experience and getting the opportunity to learn and be on your own, knowing that you're going to have possibly a job before you graduate, I'm sure is a good feeling. So that's, of course, the other reason why you go to college is to, of course, get a job after graduation, hopefully so. That's a good feeling. And then according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, there's around 1.4 million jobs, accounting positions in the United States. About 35% of those are accountants working in public accounting. Let me explain the difference between public accounting and private accounting. Public accounting is where you have the opportunity to work with one or many businesses and perform the accounting for one or many businesses, versus private accounting where you usually are just working for one company, you're doing the accounting for just one company. So that's the difference between private accounting and working for a public accounting firm, let's say like Deloitte & Touche or PricewaterhouseCoopers. So of those 35% public accounting positions, around 500,000 positions in the United States, about half of them are working with local regional firms like ours. So other than the big four. So about 250,000 positions in the country are working with local CPA firms. So in today's agenda, we're going to speak about what it's like to work with a local CPA firm. We're also going to share a team member's experience. We have our team member, Sarah Pang, on the presentation with us, and she'll speak about her experience here. Sarah, if you want to just say hi to everybody.
Hi, guys.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And then we're going to have a Q&A session. Now, I will tell you, we can answer your questions during the presentation. So if you have some, there's a question area on your prompter that you can ask questions. And then Sarah will try to answer them during the presentation, or if we need to wait to the end of the Q&A session, we can answer them, as well as if we can answer these outside the presentation, we'll do so. So thank you for that, and feel free to ask questions in your system here. All right, I wanted to speak about what the work exposure is with a local CPA firm. With a local CPA firm, we usually have 3 seasons, and it's usually a tax season, a summer season, and a fall season. With the tax season, this is usually our busiest time of the year. This is our Super Bowl. This is our World Series. This is where we take all the experience we've had and throughout the year, which we've learned, just learning whatever type of skill sets and tasks that you would get experience throughout the year, and we put it all in during the tax season. You have to focus on prioritization. You'll have to focus on being organized, and then also multitasking, because every second is precious during the tax season. And with the tax season, it's usually January to April, and the hours are usually larger. You're usually working more hours in the tax season than the rest of the year. For example, for our team, we usually have to work around 55 hours a week, because you have the normal type of work or tasks you may have throughout the year, and on top of that, you have this additional layer of preparing many tax returns throughout just a short period of time because of the deadline of ending around April 15th. Now, with the tax season and being able to understand how you have to focus on being efficient and being effective and just really just pacing yourself, it is important to think about it like a marathon, where even though it is a short window of time, January to April, you still have to think about how do you organize yourself in a way that, or your tasks, that you're not, let's say, try to do them all up front and trying to get them all done, work a larger amount of hours and potentially get yourself in a position of burning out. Because if you take on too much work and you just, which would be interesting, but it's more like, just trying to keep your balance of not being able to get rest or whatever. Just kind of know that you set your deadlines and how many returns you can prepare the workload you have in a day. Therefore, you won't overdo it and you'll be able to pace yourself throughout the rest of this tax season. At the same time, though, it's also important that you find a way to get the work done in the beginning of the tax season and not try to procrastinate, which I'm sure none of you will do. And so you're therefore not in a position where when it becomes the later part of the tax season, the March, April timeframe, you're not overwhelmed and you have too much on your plate because you were able to balance your work throughout the whole tax season. Just something to think about there. Then there's the summer season. The summer season is more like a catch-up time. During the tax season, we might have to hold off or postpone certain work so we can finish preparing tax returns by the April 15th deadline. And with the summer season, it's usually some time to catch up on those on other projects that you might have had to hold off on, such as accounting work. And at the same time, we still are working with our customers to prepare their tax returns because they might have extended their tax return. Just so you know, even though the original, let's say, due date of a tax return is March 15th, let's say for businesses, and April 15th for individuals, these taxpayers can still extend their tax return and have until, let's say, September, October, later in the year to finish those returns off. So during the summer, this is an opportunity for us to get some returns done. We're not, of course, at the pace and the speediness that we had in the work overload that we might have had during the tax season, but we're still trying to get some returns done during the summer. It's also a downtime. We understand that this might be an opportunity for you to, and for like a company to work with you to be able to get some flexible time. For example, we have 4-day work weeks with our team members because we know that they work very hard during the tax season. They put more hours than, let's say, a 40-hour work week. So this gives us an opportunity to be able to allow them to work 4-day work weeks where, let's say, half of our staff take Fridays off and half of our staff take Mondays off. So therefore, they still might be able to work. We still have team members in the office 5 days a week or working 5 days a week, but at the same time, it might be just half of them during the Friday, half of them during the Monday. But this is also a downtime. It's a time to catch up, a time to refresh, get replenished until you get into the fall time frame. Now, if we go into the fall time frame, this is where there is no more final extensions. The fall time frame is usually, let's say, September to December, almost following the same time frame as your school schedule. And during this time, there is no more deadline extensions for our tax return customers. We have to get it done. In a way, we almost kind of like threaten them and go, look, we need to get your information so we can prepare your return timely and therefore hopefully avoid any penalties. Because once you get past these extended due dates, there's a good chance that these businesses and individuals are going to be penalized for not filing their tax returns timely. Now, when we get into the fall as well, this is where we think about the end of the year and how can we provide some advisory type work. The two or three advisory type projects we usually do near the fall time frame is tax planning. Tax planning, what we do with tax planning is we help our customers, usually they're businesses and individuals, we help them estimate their taxes in advance. So therefore that gives them time for, let's say, cash flow purposes or to understand how much they need to put away or prepare to pay when that tax time comes March 15th or April 15th of next year. So tax planning is very important for helping mitigate or prevent any surprises, unexpected surprises of paying taxes of a certain cash flow of not being prepared to come tax season the next year. At the same time with tax planning, this is also an opportunity for us to see what type of tax deductions these individuals can take advantage of before the end of the year, which eventually will help them lower their taxable income, which will eventually lower their tax liability. There's also other type of advisory work we can do, such as budgeting and forecasting. We're thinking about really what's going to happen next year. The year's almost over, so how do we help our customers think about, and mostly businesses, about how we help them understand how to help meet their financial goals next year, and how do we put that into something that can be written down, like a budget and a forecast. On top of that, we look to also do a lot of accounting type cleanup work, where we're also looking to think about all these businesses or individuals who file their tax returns late. How can we help clean up, let's say, their business records, their financial information, and close their accounting properly, so therefore they can get their tax returns done timely the next year. You're going to get exposure to many different jobs. There's all types of tax returns we prepare. You might have heard of the S corporation, the 1120S, the partnership, the 1065, the individual return, the Form 1040, the nonprofit returns, the Form 990, and let's say the estate and trust returns, the Form 1041. You can just see I named a whole bunch of different tax returns. And even though there's some commonalities to them, they all have numbers on them, they're very much different. And with a firm like ours, we might be preparing many types of those returns for many of these individuals or businesses or other type of organizations, so they can stay compliant. So that's very important there. Another big service that regional firms perform is outsourced accounting services or client accounting services. And when I talk about that, it's almost like we think about when we talk about a private company where one person performs the accounting for one company. Well, with working with the small businesses that we work with, they may not be able to afford having a full-time accountant, or they may not have a need to have a full-time accountant. So what they do is they outsource that accounting role to someone like us, a firm like us, and we perform the daily or monthly or annual tasks they need to get the accounting done properly. So for example, a company might only need someone to perform accounting for their company a few hours a week. So therefore we would be assisting in taking that responsibility, and then eventually providing them financial statements so they can use for their decision making at the end of a certain period, for how long, whatever periods they need. And when I talk about the accounting, I'm talking about many different things you can do in accounting. You can be helping with accounts receivable, accounts payable. You can help with processing payroll. So you get to really learn every single task that's included with the accounting process for these companies with that type of service. Excuse me. There's also research that you'll be assisting with, whether it be research internally for the organization, or externally for the customer. It's just about, when we think about what we are as accountants, we're also problem solvers. So it's really about how do we find the information or data we need to be able to assist in solving these problems for these customers by the research we need to do. And there's also business development. Let's talk about business development. I'm sorry, everyone. I know you are going to be accountants or looking into the accounting field, but you're also going to be involved in sales and business development. So when I talk about business development, I'm talking about providing services or additional services, or identifying additional services that these customers need that we can provide. For example, let's say they're at a certain size level, they're at a position where they are growing and they need to help set up a budget or forecast so they can see if they can meet their goals, and they can see if they can get a more grasp of how they feel like the company's going to end up. So this is a good opportunity to identify if there's a need for setting a budget and keep a company more in line with how they think they're going to end up. So that's very important as well. And just preparing, also when there's an opportunity to work with a potential new customer and being able to, let's say, sell them in a way that, and to gain their trust and their confidence in working with someone like us to help them provide accounting services because of the need they have. And then process development. Process development is also important because we are a growing company, and with growth comes the need to prepare to scale or find out how we grow efficiently. So with processes, we look for our team members to be involved in developing our processes and understanding if there's identifying if there's new products to provide to customers, or new ways and different techniques, and how we have to think about how we provide these products. So that's very important about process development. And really just getting to know the whole picture. I mean, I just explained about performing accounting services, preparing tax returns, and doing other work such as tax planning and budgeting and forecasting. This is where you truly become a trusted advisor, And it's no longer about if there's work for you to do. It's about what type of work you think these customers need to get to the next level. And that's why you get the opportunity to really get the whole picture of all the different types of services that we can provide to these businesses and to these individuals. Let's talk about the customer exposure with a local CPA firm. You get to make a connection with local businesses. So think about all these businesses that are right outside the door of your apartment complex, of your school. Think about the restaurants that you visit, the coffee shops you visit, the gyms you visit, the dentist, your doctor, the Uber driver you're working with, or you've met before, maybe been driven around places before. Those are the type of businesses that you get to make a connection with. These are local businesses and they want to work with local accountants. So it's a good opportunity to make that connection with them and see how they're doing. There's an opportunity to work directly with the owners and executives of these organizations. You're not working with the 30th employee of the company or the 10th employee of the company. There's going to be situations where you're working with the business owners and you're going to have develop a relationship with them. So that's a good time to know that your soft skills and your communication skills and then your listening skills are going to come in handy. You're going to almost be like a counselor sometimes. You're going to have to listen to their pains, and you're going to want to listen to their joys. And really, as an accountant, as well as a problem solver, you're just going to want to help them get through those pains and get through those, and then help them continue with their joys. So this is important that these relationships you build are going to be with individuals who are decision makers. You're going to have the opportunity to make a direct impact to the company. These companies, these individuals who you're working with could be startups, and they could be just one person today having an idea, and you might help them, bring them to that next step where all of a sudden they were one company today, a year or two from now they're a 10, 20, 30 million dollar company, and they have many employees, and you play a role in that because accounting is a big part of that growth and that help to grow an organization and for decision making. And you become a trusted advisor. When I talk about a trusted advisor, I'm talking about really an accountant, a business. Just so you know, a trusted advisor or a CPA or an accountant is probably a business owner's most trusted advisor. And that's because if you think about it, look at all the information you get to review. You get to know about their financials. You get to know about their personal situation through their personal individual taxes and their personal financial information. This is something that we have to take seriously, but you do become this trusted advisor and they're going to listen to you. So your word counts. And I say that because it's something that you really got to cherish and know and take seriously. I mean, I can just talk to you about the example when COVID happened, March 2020, a lot of things happened, just things stopped for a lot of business owners. There was a panic moment, and it's still going on now. It's better now, but when that first happened, a lot of these business owners contacted us trying to understand what they're going to do because they weren't bringing revenue in the door, and we worked with them to understand how they could take advantage of the PPP loan and get some money so they can continue moving the organization forward. But there was all those things that happened, that connection, that pain, and being able to just walk them through things was something that, even though we weren't frontline medical individuals, it was still an important essential need that we had to do, and we're honored to do. Let's talk about personal and team exposure with a local CPA firm. There's very much an open door to the whole company with a firm like ours and probably most regional firms. Everybody knows each other by the first name. Everybody is communicating with each other probably on a daily basis and having some connection there. There's a family type culture here where everybody wants each other to succeed, and we all know to move forward and grow, we all have to work with each other and support each other in that way. In the same time though, you got to also think about everybody's here is a resource to you. It's not like you got to take so many steps to get to anybody in a company, a local regional firm like ours. You have the opportunity and the means to be able to touch base with anybody in the company. So in a way, that's an opportunity to work with those individuals and have them as a resource to help you grow in your profession. you get to be part of the change. If you think about it, being part of the change, with an organization of our size, we're very much wanting for you to be a contributor, and you get to be a contributor. With just to kind of bring it down to like a company of our size versus a bigger company. Let's just say that there's 10 people in a company and one person was to leave the company. That's 10% of our workforce. And if you think about a company like Google that has 100,000 plus employees, and if they were to lose 10% of their workforce, that would be 10,000 plus employees. So you can see that every person in this company, a regional or smaller firm like this, is important and plays a role. And you get to be a part of that change. We want you to be able to contribute. And I imagine, like anything, when you're part of a team and a group and you make suggestions or get feedback, and those items are taken seriously and looked at and potentially executed on, that's a really good feeling. And that's what we're looking with team members, every team member, to play a role to help us all move together and move forward. And then work-life balance. I mean, I personally have heard just other unique stories and intense stories about individuals working 60, 70, 80 hours during the high tax season or high seasons of a CPA firm. And I've heard it's with a lot of the larger firms. So one thing we try to do, especially with us, and I think a lot of regional firms, they try to create a work-life balance. For us, we feel like that's the best way to get the best out of someone, is to be able to create flexibility for the team member to not be in a position where they're overworked, which could create, of course, burnout, which could create just a time where maybe you're not focusing and you're not able to put your best in it. So we try to create a work-life balance where we work with our team members. Like I said, we have 4-day work weeks during the summer. We try to, we've been teleworking or setting up teleworking programs with our team members even before COVID. Of course, it's more common now. This is, though, still very important, especially being in this area, the Northern Virginia area, in high traffic area. We understand how important it is to be able to be home, be able to spend time with your family, and then also do other things that's outside of work that kind of relieves, gives you relief and allows you to have that work-life balance. So we're very much looking into that. And then with firms like ours, we see that there's the opportunity here to make this happen because of being nimble and being able to adapt and pivot using the technology or other resources around us to make to be allow us to work efficiently, effectively, in a productive way for our team members. And bottom line is that we just want to perform good work and be our best, and just having a work-life balance allows us to do this. Well, this next part is just a team member's experience, and I wanted to introduce you to Sarah Pang, who's been with a team member. She's been a great team member for some time now. So Sarah, if you don't mind just introducing yourself, please.
Hi guys, my name is Sarah Pan. I'm currently a staff accountant with Wendroff CPA. I started with Wendroff Associates in November 2019 through the firm's accounting internship program, and officially became a staff accountant in June 2020 after graduating from the Master of Accountancy program in GWU. So today I'm very glad to be here sharing my experience with the internship program.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In fact, Sarah, thanks for talking about GWU. I know a lot of our attendees are GWU, so shout out to the Colonials for attending this meeting. So Sarah, if you don't mind, can you just tell us what stood out about growing at your internship here?
Of course. When I started as an intern in Wendroff CPA, the first and deepest impression it gave me is that it has a very mature internship program. You will meet small challenges every day, but meanwhile, you will find you have made big progress every day. So my experience here not only lays a solid foundation for my future direct communication with clients as a staff accountant, but it also opens a gate for me to become a professional CPA in the near future.
Thank you, Sarah. Oh, I did not know that. I'm glad you're studying for your CPA. Sarah, can you let us know, if you think about the internship and during the first, let's say, few months, can you let us know what it's like in the day in the life of an intern, the first maybe 30, 60, and 90 days?
Sure. I remember in the first 30 days of the program, I was trained to do some very basic accounting and admin tasks, such as basic bank reconciliation, work papers preparation, simple data entry, with the help of my mentor beside me all the time. Then start from the second month, instead of simply entering data and reconciling bank accounts, an intern will get a chance to learn how to make adjusting journal entries, how to close the monthly book, how to generate and analyze monthly financial reports. By then, you will have a clear sense about the whole bookkeeping process a CPA firm does for its business clients. Besides bookkeeping projects, you will also be assigned some individual tax return tasks in the second month. Most of the clients who engage tax return service with us are high-income people with very complex investment assets. So you will also get a chance to learn how to report different types of income and deductions to the IRS in the annual tax return. And as for the third month and the remaining time of the internship, you will gradually be exposed to all kinds of projects and service a CPA firm provides to its clients. The whole Wendroff team operates vertically all the time, which means an intern has the chance to work directly with and get support from every team member, from the junior staff accountant to senior accountant to manager and to the boss. When I work with different persons, the project types and skills I learned is also different. So you will find that during the 3 to 4 months, you are already a good accountant who knows the operation of a CPA firm very well. So welcome to join Wendroff CPA internship program, and you will find it's a great choice.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Again, to our attendees, we're very honored to have Sarah be part of our team. She does a great job for our customers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian.
Well, thank you again for everybody who attended the presentation today. I'm hoping you were able to get some type of insightful information to help you understand more about what it is to work with a local CPA firm. We feel like there's not much information to be presented here, or not much opportunity to present about this, and hopefully this was something you can take something with. I will let you know that we currently have an internship opening for tax season into the spring. So please check out our Handshake website, or ourselves on Handshake, if you feel like there's something this is something that you'd want to look into in the internship position here. And yeah, if we can answer any questions, please feel free to answer them now. Let's see if there's any. And then you also have our contact information as well, if you want to be able to ask any later questions in the meantime. So we do have some questions. I'm just going to answer those really quick. The question was, what is the growth path like working with our company? This is a good question. We do have an internship program here. So we start with the intern. And then as you get more experience, gain more experience, there's opportunity to grow into different positions. For example, we have a staff accountant who's going to get some experience in working, really when that's the first position here after someone interns at the company and starts to work with us full time. So there's opportunity that you're really just going to get more exposure to what you did as an intern, and then also get a little bit more responsibility. And eventually there's the staff two, where that's a position where you're going to start looking more of having a team, maybe one team member work under you, where there's going to give you this opportunity to be able to delegate, to be able to review their work. And then as there's other positions as you grow into the company, such as a senior accountant, a manager, and a senior manager, as well as up to the partner level. Good question. There's another question from Karina, are there remote internships available? That's a great question. At this time, we don't have remote internships. We do have, most of our interns, not all, actually all of our interns come to our office. We're in Arlington, Virginia. However, there are times where when you start to become, let's say, a full-time team member, there is opportunities to work remotely when that time starts. Good question. Next question is from Jam Yoon, and the question is, it sounds exciting to be able to have exposure to many different jobs. Yes. Are you able to specialize in what you grow to or like to or enjoy doing? So are you able to specialize in what you grow into and what you like and enjoy doing? This is a great question, Jam Young. Yes, you do. Now, there's the general type of experience that as you grow into a position that you're going to get the fundamental experience. For example, when you're a senior accountant, you're going to learn how to focus on review techniques. You're going to learn on how to delegate. We want you to learn how to develop staff. But at the same time, though, there's like, let's say you're really good or you really have a passion for preparing tax returns, then we're going to work with you to mostly focus on that area. Therefore, you can then specialize in what you do, but at the same time, learn and grow within the company through the different positions. So yes, there is an opportunity to focus on core parts of maybe industries or types of services like accounting or tax or consulting. At the same time, you'll still learn fundamental skills as you go into different positions. Great question. I think that is it, and we're coming to a close time anytime, 5:32. So again, thank you so much for everyone who attended, and we wish you the best of luck as you get into the remainder of the season and get into the holidays. You take care.